Now, you can look at Wayne and Jay, they're probably not writing it down, but they come up with these lines and they keep them in their head. You know what I'm saying? To where, like they say, practice, you comes better.
You get better.
So when we talking about some artists that probably before the writing down shit came in, right? They were probably already at least 8 albums into their career. So when, like you said, when Bun got in the booth, by him rehearsing this line over and over and over of learning and trying to create the next one, he know it.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
The reason I mentioned the punching in is because I was just interviewing DJ Burn One down in Atlanta, and he was like, shout out Burn One, he was like, he had some youngsters in the studio trying to punch in, and they was taking forever, and he hated it. He said but he had Bun that flew in, and Bun just did his, Bun put his down. It was already put down so fast and left, he didn't have time for all that.
Consulting artist, I do consulting, and they bought a verse from Bun B. Mm-hmm. He flew in to Birmingham, not even to Atlanta because the Birmingham flight was cheaper. Flew into Birmingham, came in, wrote his verse, picked up his money in 10 minutes, laid it in 10 minutes, and then left and was back in the Birmingham airport. I'm like, these people done punched. Bun B could have flew into Birmingham. That's why I said, got to Atlanta, drove back to Birmingham, been back to Tennessee. By the time you're sitting here trying to punch and get your thoughts together, it's like Jay-Z was formulating his ideas before he went in the booth.
Exactly.
It wasn't really a freestyle.
Same thing with Biggie.
So it's like, to say I don't write, it wasn't really not writing. He's just kind of like writing it in his head before he goes in there.
That's right.
So I think people got lost when they got in the booth and they're like, well, Jay-Z don't write. No, let me get that again. No. It's like, nah, that's not exactly how it works. So I watch Bun B be very efficient.
Your boy Bun B, the king of the trio. Say you got ice, man, I'm blinging for real. Say you got Plex, well, I'm bringing the steel.
And then I watch these other people just like, be efficient at all. And I'm trying to tell them, why don't you just take 10 minutes and write? No, it's a vibe. It's not a vibe. It's not a vibe if we're just, it's like the stop and start of everything as opposed to just feeling how fluid it was when he came in, wrote his verse, laid it. We got the whole rest of the session to work. Because
this is the difference of the transition from the old generation to the new, to where like, Boost, what we did. When we made records back then, it was no thing of send me some beats. You had to come into the studio. That's how like a lot of classic records is here.
There wasn't no email.
Right, it wasn't no email. You had to come to the studio with the producer and y'all was gonna get up in there and bang something out.
But how long did it take though? Was it?
Right, hold up, but see this what I'm getting to. Like the punching in part is like, the artist will get with the producer, they find a beat, then the artist will write to the beat. And so as he writing to the beat, he's learning the lyrics as he writing them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And by the time he go through the process of writing these lyrics, because just think about it, like when you writing lyrics, you may be going over this line at least 15 to 20 times thinking and trying to think about what was the next line that's going to follow. Mm-hmm. So you rehearsing this line until the next one come. And by the time you do that and go through the whole process of getting a verse, you done studied the whole record.
Man.
So when, like you said, when Bun got in the booth, by him rehearsing this line over and over and over of learning and trying to create the next one, he know it. So by the time he go in the booth, the only thing he thinking about is perfecting it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Until what Boosie was saying is more like the artist, they'll get up in there, they'll think of it, you know what I'm saying? And before you know it, the first thing come to the head, they'll run it. But, when you have an engineer behind you, nah, man, what you said, I ain't get it. They're not saying it right. They mumbling their words. You know what I'm saying? They smoking, getting high, and blah, blah, blah. And see, and that is the whole process of why it takes so long for them to record records, because they do not, you know what I'm saying, study. They just come up with something right then and there. And most of the time, some of them will do it, and they may get luck up and record it faster. but don't know the records
Do you think
when it's time to perform them.
Do you think it's because people, you hear the statements like Jay-Z didn't write, or he don't write, or Lil Wayne don't write, or you hear these things, and these kids hear this stuff, and they trying to be rappers. It's a bunch of rappers, guys. I see them all day. They in my inbox all day, but they tell me I don't write. Like, okay,
You need to write.
And it sounds like it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, the whole thing is, you have to really be a perfectionist to even do what a P did, to do what a Wayne did, Jay-Z, or whoever. Because trust me, if you would have ever told me back then that P did not write his words, I was like, bitch, stop lying. It took me to see for myself. P don't write.
Wow.
Never did.
P go
Never.
he punches in.
Let me tell you something. He is the perfect example of when they say he didn't write shit down. Now, you can look at Wayne and Jay, they probably not writing it down, but they come up with these lines and they keep them in their head. You know what I'm saying? To where, like they say, practice, you comes better.
It get better.
So when we talking about some artists that probably before the writing down shit came in, right? They were probably already at least 8 albums into their career.
Wow. Yeah.
So practice make perfect. So when you do this enough, anything comes easy to you. But the average artist that's saying this here right now, right? How long have they been in the game?
And the ones I'm talking about ain't been in it all hardly.
Okay, then.
They ain't even got a hit yet. They ain't even did a project, full project. They just like, I think it's a popular thing that they latched on to because they see the greats saying it, and they like, man, I'm gonna say it. I can't write it. That's gonna make me look away. You know what I mean?
Right.
They trying to do exactly what everybody else is trying to do.
Right.
Because think about it. If they going in there thinking that they can rap without even writing it down, even if you writing it in your phone, then you getting yourself caught up in the wrong thing. Because think about it, you trying to go and be a Wayne or a Jay-Z, but you don't even know where you trying to go.
But but that made the punch in thing more predominant, is what I'm thinking. More people start punching in because they trying not to write. You know what I'm saying?
And see, the punching in the thing is when you don't want to take time to write.
Yep.
That's why if you listen to everybody's song right now, right? Everybody's trying to outdo everybody doing the same shit.
Yep. Think about it, you trying to rush the process.
That part.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about this here too, like, a lot of the labels can take fault for this because even like they're still trying to catch. A lot of labels is trying to catch up and redo what No Limit did. Like when we 98 when we dropped like 20-some albums.
Yeah, 27.
That's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that when we was dropping them records like that, even though it was one project, but it was 8 people working on it.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk.